In today's episode, we break from the norm and have a little comic relief with industry buzzwords. I'm Greg Zakwitz.
And I'm Gabe Macaluso. Greg, December is cooked grasshopper month. Have you ever eaten a grasshopper?
Yeah, I've eaten those cute bunnies before. They're kind of gamey, though. Welcome, everybody, to today's show. Hector's on vacation. We've got Rocky filling in for him. So we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to set one 10-minute timer and discuss our most annoying buzzwords. When the time is up, so are we. But before we get started, be sure to click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss amazing videos just like this one. And be sure to let us know your most annoying buzzwords in the comments section. And if you want no buzzword, all value email and SMS marketing, Omnisend has you covered. Omnisend has everything you need to send personalized email and SMS marketing for a fraction of the cost and comes with live 24/7 customer support. So be sure to find out about all the value Omnisend provides at omnisend.com, which can also be found linked in the video description. All right, Gabe, our first and only topic today is buzzwords. Go ahead and throw them up on the screen for us, Rocky, and let's roll. Okay, so Gabe, we're going to start with my most cringeworthy buzzword. And I'm going to kind of add a second one to this. So growth hacking, but I'll also include growth marketer for all the marketing people out there. So what's your initial impression?
Well, it's always a little concerning when someone's hacking their growth.
Sure.
When this is what they've been hired to do. It's a little scary. Like, you shouldn't be hacking anything together. You should know what you're doing. So maybe we just call it growth, like growing the business. So yeah, and then not only that, you could question whether or not growth hacking is actually an oxymoron, because things grow and then you hack them down. So are you growing them or are you cutting them back?
Well, this goes into my complaint about this. I'm like, do they hire shrink marketers? Are we shrink hacking anything? Like, are we trying to get smaller? Like, we're making too much money. I need to hire someone to like catapult this thing downward. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me. So the other thing is, like, are you really hacking something? So like, hey, yeah, I'm going to find this thing and I'm going to make it better by doing these things, which are really just processes or tactics we're doing. Growth hacking, we're done. We're like 2 minutes in already. We've got tons more to do. Okay, so we both realize that growth hacking, growth marketing are just ridiculous. All right, let's roll.
But I will tell you that growth hackers are the bar none experts, gurus, penultimate knowledge experts of zero-party data.
Gabe, don't get me started with zero-party data. I cannot. So how can you get data on something if there is nothing to get data on, right? This is like sucking information out of a black hole. Like, it's not coming back, right? Until that thing kind of explodes out or whatever. So I don't get it, right? If I want to collect your email address, Gabe, you're the first party. You're your own first party, right? Isn't that whose information I'm gathering, right? That's first party data, in my opinion. So you're not a zero, right? You're a hero. So I can't, hero party data, maybe we do that, right? So I don't know. We've got to get rid of this. It's zero party data with zero parties. If I have zero people coming to my party, it's zero, right? First party. So that's where I sit with zero party data.
So I agree. I get very frustrated by this term. And I know I'm sometimes not the smartest person in the world. So I researched it, Greg.
You hacked it.
That's what we should do here. I hacked it. I hacked the research together. So this is just one little infographic I found, but here's what they say is zero-party data. Data from surveys, questionnaires, pop-ups, and customer profiles. Now, I asked myself, what kind of information would I collect in a pop-up? At a very minimum, things like first name and email address, both personal data points. So let's look at what examples of first-party data they have. Personal info.
Interesting.
Email address. So it's the same thing. You can't. So maybe the pop-up form is the zero-party data because there's nothing in it yet. It's the blank form.
It's code.
Well, but there's no info, so it's zero. There's no info.
Yeah.
Zero, null, nothing.
No.
So That's our feelings about zero-party data.
Get out of here, sir. So I've learned something from your research that you've hacked together, Gabe. And now I'm going to go share my learnings with other people. This is definitely, I threw this one on the list. Not sure if you agree, but how do you feel about learnings?
Learnings. Well, if we can combine it with disrupting so that we can have synergy amongst the organization.
Yeah, there we go.
We're just going to take all of these off as we go.
Yeah, let's throw them all together. Learnings, disruptor, and synergy. Let's chuck them all together. So
I think at this point, it's like a drinking game for like business terminology, right? You have the bingo, lingo kind of thing going on. So learnings, listen, I think to be successful, you have to be a curious person. So I think you do want to learn. Do you need to announce that here are the learnings that you found? No, just tell me what you found. I don't need to know that they're your learnings. I think that's where I'm going with that.
So learnings used to not be a word, right? It was added later. Like you learn something, you share knowledge, like your learnings were not something. And then, so this happened with a company I worked for years and years ago, right? So when I was first starting out, and they would always talk about learnings, and I'm like, I never heard of this, and two, it just sounds ridiculous. I'm like, it's not a word. And then I looked it up, and it wasn't a word, but now it's a word. So like, I don't know, I don't have as many legs to stand on. I still have two, but theoretically, I don't know. I hate it. Like, can you just share what you learned? Right? Can we just change maybe the tense of the sentence? Right? Hey, share your learnings with us. What did you learn? Right? Maybe there's a more simplistic way to say that. I don't know. All right, disruptor. Oh my God, can we not disrupt? Just stop disrupting things. Like creating something new is not disrupting, changing, in my opinion. I'm like, did you disrupt? Like, I don't know, Marriott's still around, Airbnb, and now there's like 50 other versions of that are still around. Did you really disrupt it, or did you just change the way it happened? Like, I don't know, this world's still functioning. I don't know. I don't need you being a disruptor on things. Like, you should be a disruptor. You should be learning things and hacking things and, finding new ways to do things and entertain people and whatever you want to do. You should be a disruptor. That's just growth and experimentation.
Just don't hack their growth together to be a disruptor.
Like every scientist or nuclear chemist or whoever, technically they're all disruptors because they're always learning something and then sharing those learnings with their industry folk. So I don't know, just because you learned something doesn't mean you disrupted something or try a new experiment. It means you're disrupting things.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this word bubbles up a lot, especially in like the D2C space, right? And if we look at like Yeti was it you could argue that they disrupted the cooler market, right? They didn't disrupt anything. People are still making coolers. They've always made them. You can still go to Big Lots and buy a styrofoam cooler. Why? Because there's still a need and a demand for it, and it still sells. Not everyone's going to spring for the great cooler that you need, right? But they still were able to adapt to the changing market. And I think that is important. Disrupt is a little bit of like a strong buzzword, and whatever. Whoever wants to tweet about it, I think is, we can get into all kinds of nonsense with that kind of stuff. But the idea being that you recognize the need, you take what's there as the foundation, and then you adjust to make it better. I'm 100% on board with that. So maybe we're make it betterers. There
you go. I mean, they didn't disrupt the cooler market, right? They just brought a better version of a product to a market, and then everyone else still selling coolers, like you mentioned. Yeah. Right? They're just, it is. There's more competition. Competition's always been there. Yeah. Synergy, I don't like it. I don't hate this one as much as other people hate it, though. This is one of those things. But we're just working together, right? Do football teams have synergy when they're playing together, or do they just practice a lot and they know what they're doing? I don't know. I don't hate it as much as everyone else, but I could probably do with never hearing this again. Yeah. Do you have any strong feelings on this one?
I mean, not strong. I think it's just one of those words that people throw out there to fill in if they have nothing better to say, and they feel like they have to say something in a meeting. So people are like, I really like this synergy. Let's circle back on this. It's like all those like buzzwords in terms of how can I get out of doing the work maybe? But I think it's important that we all work together as a team. And I think we love stories here, Greg. And we go back to the cooler market. Do you remember the big GoFundMe or Kickstarter for I think it was called the Cooler, and it was supposed to have a boom box in it, and it was supposed to have an attachment for a blender and all the stuff, and it was one of the most successful Kickstarters ever, and it never came to market.
That does not ring a bell to me, but it doesn't surprise me.
But yeah, and then you have other ones there's a new one out that's the best way to make popcorn as we get into the fall season is on the stovetop. We can argue that all you want, but it's the best way. It's super easy. Put a little oil in the pan, pop 2 or 3 kernels. That way you know the oil's hot enough. There is a new popcorn pan out there. It's selling for $150. They're disrupting the homemade popcorn market.
Of course they are.
And kudos to them. They have done a phenomenal job with social media marketing, Kickstart. I'm sure it's a great product, but all they've done is added a handle so that you can stir the popcorn. That's it. It's a pot. Is this a disruption? No. Did it even need to be made better? Probably not. But they growth hacked the heck out of this thing.
So here we go, Gabe. All right, we're over time, but Rocky is really not important with us because he's just filling in for Hector. So we'll finish it with this one. Did they disrupt it though? So I use an air popper, but I used to not use an air popper. And this is probably because my last one broke. It ran its course of life. And this was probably maybe, let's just say 6 to 8 years ago, probably 8 years ago. No, longer because it was pre-kids and my kid is almost a teenager. So long time ago. It was one of the ones where you put oil in it, but you didn't cook it on a pan. You put it onto this thing, you plugged in, heated it up, but it had a thing that turned all the kernels for you, right? So you just put it in there, you put the top on, you put the little oil in, you put the kernels in, once it gets heated up, and then it automatically turns. So did they really disrupt it? Because I was using this thing 15 years ago. And then once it broke, I got an air popper because I'm it's a lot easier just to pour it in, push a button, and I'm good to go at that point. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. We still got tons of buzzwords that we didn't get to, which is fine. It gives us content if we ever want to do this one. You guys like this even more. Please let us know your favorite buzzwords in the comments section. But Gabe, this was fire. So let's put a pin in this conversation. We'll circle back to it later. We hope you enjoyed yourselves today. I know I did. Gabe, you enjoy yourself?
I did. Nothing like a little good Karen therapy.
That's right. So if you're a brand looking to increase your e-commerce store sales with high value, low cost, 24/7, 365 live customer support, be sure to check out Omnisend. You can find more information at omnisend.com or the link in the to Omnisend in the video description. Thank you to our stand-in producer, Rocky. See, I'll get your name one of these times, Rocky. You really did nothing for us today, so I appreciate that. I am Greg Zakowicz.
And I am Gabe Macaluso.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you want more e-commerce marketing content, check out this Dandy right here. And until next time, happy marketing, everyone.